So welcome everyone. You're very welcome to the NUI Galway Virtual Open Day. I'm delighted to be joined here today by 5 truly fantastic and incredible students who are studying their business courses with us here at NUI Galway. And we recognise how valuable the student voice is and the student experiences. So this session is just to really give you an opportunity to hear about the experiences of our students from them directly. And they have fantastic experiences that they're going to share. I would just like to acknowledge for our panelists who have joined us today, that many of them have finished their lectures this week, their final week of lectures, and are moving into a very busy period for exams. And that some of our students are currently on work placement as well and are in very busy periods. So we're very grateful to all of you for joining us today to share your experience. And what we're really trying to do here at NUI Galway on our business courses is ensure that you're ready for the world of work, you're ready for your career, and you're ready for the world when you finish. And I think our students today are fantastic examples of what you can become by studying at NUI Galway. So I'm going to just jump straight in to kind of a Q&A session with the students to ask them about their experiences. So Sinead, if you're there, I might come to you first. Many students on the call today, maybe in Leaving Cert or maybe some of the earlier years of secondary school, but they're not sure exactly what they want to do within business, but they know they have an interest in business. What type of advice would you have for those students?
Yeah, so 100%, like I really genuinely didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was leaving secondary school. I had always wanted to do primary teaching, and then I changed my mind. I wanted to do physio, and I was just so torn as to what I was going to put down in my CAO. And then I went to one of the open days for NUIG, and I saw that there was this course called Commerce Global Experience. And I was straight away like, okay, I really want to travel. I want a course that's kind of broad enough that I'll get a little bit of exposure into everything, because I didn't want to narrow myself into, let's say, accounting or finance or marketing straight away. I didn't know kind of what those courses really entailed. So with commerce, you go in first year and you get a really, really broad kind of base of the whole commerce spectrum. You do marketing, business analytics, finance, accounting, everything. So it's fantastic. You really do get a really broad understanding, and then you specialize then in final year. So I've specialized in finance. I did an internship in an accountancy firm, an internship in a marketing firm. So I kind of got a little bit of everything before I had to really decide what I wanted to do then. So it's a really, really good course if you're not 100% about what you want to do, you know?
Yeah, I think that's such an important point. You know, if you know what you want to do now in your business career, that's fantastic. But if you know that you have an interest in business, but you don't know specifically what you want to go into yet, that's absolutely perfect also. And you have the time when you're here as a student to have those different experiences to really cultivate your own niche and find out what you're interested in.
Absolutely.
And so I think the flexibility of the programs, is really key.
There's just a question from Lauren there. So Lauren, I actually only did business in Leaving Cert. I didn't do accounting or economics, and I was going into commerce in first year, and I was really like, oh my God, I'm going to struggle so much. But you wouldn't believe they give you extra tutorials and everything in accounting, because I had zero basic accounting at all. And they give extra tutorials to anyone who didn't do it for Leaving Cert. And then you basically all start from the ground up. So if you've done accounting for Leaving Cert, yeah, it'd be brilliant. It's a great kind of benefit to you, but you'll be at no disadvantage whatsoever. They really do teach you the basics first, and then you can decide if you want to kind of pursue an accounting kind of stream after that.
Yeah, and I can echo that. I was very similar in that my passion is for marketing, maybe not on the accountancy side, but what I really value is, or what I value because I'm a commerce graduate myself, is those numerical skills that you develop by studying accounting can be really applicable even when you're working in fields like marketing, where there's areas like analytics as well. And Sinead, you know, the transition from secondary schools third level is quite a transition as well. And we have initiatives here within the business schools to try and help students in supporting that transition. Would you be able to talk to us a small bit about your experience of coming to third level and your experience of supporting students directly that you've undertaken while you've been here?
Absolutely. So obviously it's a huge jump leaving home and then jumping into university life. So I lived in Carr Village in first year, and that's fantastic because it's on campus. You are kind of in with all first year, so it's really easy to make friends. But I think the one biggest impact that first year had on me was we had this thing called peer assisted learning, which I actually did then in second year, where second year students of the same course as yours take you on, do a little session with you as a class group. You get split up into groups of, I think there was about maybe 25 in my group. And it's basically second years helping first years. They go through kind of, if you have problems with any module, because like they've done the module the year before, they'll help you with that. They do kind of projects and games and that kind of thing. And it's really, really good because some of the people I met through PAL are still my best friends now. Just a question from Thomas there. How long have I'm not going to lie, I still don't 100% know what I want to do. And that's the beauty of a commerce degree. It's so broad that you're not kind of pinned into anything straight away. So I did an accountancy internship in first year and it was great. It was a really good experience. Figured out accounting isn't for me. So then as part of my work placement with Commerce Global Experience, you get to do a study abroad and a work placement. So I was lucky enough to get my work placement in Luxembourg. It was with this tax advisory firm called Atos, and I was doing marketing for them. And that was amazing. Like it was such a good opportunity. So I got then a little bit of experience in marketing as well. And then I chose this year, I was like, right, okay, I'll try finance. So I'm streaming in finance at the minute, absolutely loving it. And yeah, so if you want to travel with your degree, I really would recommend even the Commerce International or Commerce Global Experience here. Because I got to travel to Perth, like Perth in Australia. A few of my mates were gone to Canada, America. You can go to South Korea, China. Now they didn't happen this year because of everything that's going on, but it is fantastic, the opportunities you get to travel.
And I think, Thomas, on that point as well, I would always describe commerce as a door to many doors. So you can come into a commerce program and you can come out of it and become anything you want. And once you have these key business skills that you develop while you're here, even within your own career professionally, you may change fields or sectors or industry as you move through your own personal career. So I think it can be a small bit of a different journey for everyone in terms of when is that time where you figure out this is what I want to do. But we have full support here in the university between our support services, between access to programs like PAL to really help you figure out what you're looking to do. And Sinead, I might just actually ask you to touch on your experience of studying abroad briefly as well, because a lot of students on the call might be interested in pursuing that as part of their studies.
Yeah, like I honestly couldn't recommend it more. I'm going to be the cliche, it was the best experience of my life. So I left in June and I moved to Luxembourg. I did my work placement there, really diverse kind of, there was a language barrier. I was working in a French firm. That was amazing. Then I came back here at Christmas, had a few weeks here, and then I moved to Perth in Australia and I studied at Curtin University there. And oh my God, it was just fantastic. Like between just experiencing a whole new way of learning, and they didn't really get affected by COVID very much. So I was loving that. We got to travel loads. We did loads of road trips up and down the coast, but it was just amazing. Like I couldn't recommend studying abroad more. Even just from figuring out kind of what you want to do and that kind of thing. Because you meet so many new people and everything. And it's as well, when you're studying abroad, you're in with students. So it's not as much of a shock to your system as going out and being completely by yourself, because everyone's in the same boat. There's loads of people studying abroad and you're with students. So it was fantastic. Yeah.
And Sinead, maybe one last question for you then as well, just around, Galway as a location for students, looking to study here. Like we obviously, know the charm and have the grow for Galway. But can you maybe talk to us about your experience of Galway and maybe the sense of community that's here within the city?
Yeah, so no, absolutely. Even this year, especially, I think the whole kind of culture in Galway has really come to the fore, the community culture, because like this year, I don't know if anyone on the call is familiar with this thing called Coldvember. So it's this initiative that it's student driven really, where every day for the month of November, you go to this place called Blackrock. It's the diving tower in Salt Hill, the promenade, and you jump into the water every day for a month. And it was just, there was such a sense of community because we were in lockdown, everyone was getting a bit down, and because we were all kind of coming together, not physically together, but as part of this organization. It was amazing. And then with NUIG, there's this thing called the Alive Cert as well, just building on the community aspect of it. It's this thing that you can get for volunteering. So I've done it since first year. You basically have to do a little bit of a report, and then anything you do volunteering. So class reps, I'm on the Cancer Society. So NUIG has this thing called, or like societies. So the Irish Cancer Society has a branch here, and I'm on the committee for that. So that's considered volunteering. And then if you volunteer with Simon Community or anything like that, it all goes towards this thing called the Alive Cert. And then when you graduate, you have this little thing that's basically saying like you did a lot of volunteering while you were studying and everything. So it's fantastic. Yeah. It's a way that we, like, students can kind of give back to the community as well. And NUIG really recognizes that, which I love.
Yeah. I think that outreach and that collaboration and that sense of community spirit is so alive here on the campus through all of these different initiatives. And I think one of the great things about studying in the university, we're focusing on your personal development as well. And all of these experiences like engaging with volunteering, clubs and societies really all contribute to that as well. So Sinead, thank you so much for that. And I'm sure I'll be pulling you back in for more questions as the session goes on. Sarah, I might come to you next. So we have Sarah Heaney joining us today, who's going to talk to us about her experiences studying business information systems. So Sarah, maybe just to start, if you want just to tell us a small bit about your course and what you're enjoying about the program.
Okay, so business information systems, otherwise known as BIS, it's basically a mix of business and technology. So I left secondary school thinking I definitely want to do business, but I kind of want to do something with a little bit of technology, because I was always kind of good at computers, like not this whiz kid, but like I was very good at anything like PowerPoint. Like the best I got was PowerPoint, Excel, Word when I was in school. So in BIS, we study coding, analytics, web design, and then the business side, we study accounting, management, marketing, economics. So like there's a healthy blend of both like aspects to the course. It's a small enough course. There's only about, I think there's 35 in my year, and I think it doesn't really go over 50. So, like it makes learning so much easier, and like no one really gets left behind if you're stuck. And like we have tutorials, like everything to help us with, especially like the coding. Like it seems very daunting at the start, but it's just like everything else. If you go to all the lectures, the tutorials, it's grand, and like you don't have to be this great coding wizard. Like I'm certainly not, but like it's so nice to like just have like you're introduced to all these different new emerging technologies, and then at least when you're going into the future you kind of have a little grasp on them, so what everyone else is talking about.
And Sarah, and I think you touched on a really kind of key point that's there as well. We might have students on the call who are interested in technologies and BIS, but there isn't really those types of subjects available on the Leaving Cert. So would you have felt comfortable starting the course? You mightn't have had huge IT, or BIS experience, but you're kind of starting from scratch and building your skills as you go.
Yeah, like it's like Sinead was saying with accounting. Like I hadn't studied anything like coding, completely new to it, but you start from the beginning and you build on it every year. I studied coding for 2 years, so like you just build on it every semester, and then by the end, like you have a well-rounded knowledge of it.
Completely. And Sarah, you're currently on an internship at the moment. Students who are studying on the Business Information Systems program go on an internship in year 3 of the program for about 9 months. So Sarah, can you tell us a small bit about who you're placed with at the moment and the kind of experience and work that you're undertaking as part of that?
Yeah, so I'm on an internship with SAP, and I'm sure none of you have a clue what SAP is, because I certainly didn't when I was leaving cert, and probably not even in first, nearly even in second year. But it's a software company. It's probably one of the biggest ones in the world, but it creates systems to make other businesses run better and work better. So I was lucky enough to get a place on the STAR program, which is a 2-year rotation internship. So I spent summer of last year working for SAP, and then now I'm spending the next couple of months, but since January I've been working with SAP. So it's 2 paid internships, and then for the months that you're in college, you get a nice little dandy little pocket money to keep you going, and it eliminates the need for a part-time job. So like it really allows you to focus on your studies. And I feel like next year now, when I'm in final year, it will really help. So I can put my head down and do as good as I can.
Yeah, completely. And, congratulations to you, Sarah, for, securing a place on the STAR program, because it is fantastic. And as you've mentioned there, SAP are willing to provide students with, financial remuneration while they're studying outside of their internships, because they want to invest in the students and they want to invest in the relationships that they're building with you as well. So I'm sure having the luxury of not having to work a part-time job in final year as you're on the scheme is going to be absolutely fantastic and take a small bit of pressure off you as well. So
Yeah,
well done, Sarah, for securing that place on the program. And it's one example of many exciting opportunities I think that can be there for students as part of their degrees.
Yeah, definitely.
So Sarah, thank you very much for that. And for sharing your experiences on business information systems. I'm sure we could be coming back to you again with some more questions. So I'm now going to invite Tendi to join me to share his experiences. So Tendi is actually joining us from abroad today. I'm very jealous. So Tendi, maybe just to start, would you like to briefly introduce yourself?
First of all, can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, Tendi. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. What's up, everybody? My name is Tendai. I came in through the Access course, and I'm currently doing my internship in the Channel Islands with PwC. So I've been here since July. Um, yeah, and it's been pretty awesome. The weather is fantastic. I haven't been rained on not a single day since I got here in July. So I think if you're from Ireland or live in Ireland or spent any time in Ireland, that's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big, not a single day.
You're making us all very jealous right now, Tendai.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Uh,
And Tendai, could you maybe tell us a small bit? So you came into the BCom Global Experience through the Access program, and it's one of the alternative entry routes that we have here in the university in terms of coming onto the program. And you secured the coveted Global Experience spot. But we have a lot of students who might come through these alternative pathways onto their programs. So would you mind telling us a small bit about your experience of coming through Access and how it's kind of supported you to get where you are now?
So I didn't go to high school in Ireland, so I didn't have leaving cert, and I didn't go to high school in the UK either, so I didn't have whatever their version is of that. So to convert my education from the US, etc., it was a whole lot of stress. Um, and also because my family moved around a lot. We're originally from Zimbabwe. Um, so half my education was in the US, the other half was in Zimbabwe. However, the Access course was fantastic because you don't have to have gone through the regular schooling, if you could put it that way, in Ireland. You didn't have to have gone through leaving cert, etc., which is the beauty of that. All you needed is just to want to do it. It was interview based. Um, I remember, the questions were pretty much about you, and you just had to show you had to show that A, you have a willingness, and B, that you want it, because there's a limited number of students that they accept every year. And I knew I wanted to do something business related, and I came across the global commerce global experience. So if you come in through Access, there's only one spot for mature students, and then there's one spot for school leavers. So it's pretty tight. But I will say this: um, the education experience is fantastic, and if I had friends or relatives that have gone even through regular high school in Ireland, but you're not sure if you're ready to do college, or, I would say invest in the extra year, do the Access course. Um, It's full time. You're on campus every single day like everybody else, except you're not quite in first year. However, you still need to put in the same amount of work and pass exams. So it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
And I think it's really important, for to encourage students to try and make yourselves familiar with all of the entry routes that are available onto the
Yeah.
programs that we have here across the university, and all of the opportunities that are available to you there as well. Across schemes like here,
Hmm.
there, mature students,
Hmm.
FETA, QQI, PLC programs. There's lots of entry routes onto the programs that it's really valuable to familiarize yourself with. And we would always encourage students, engage with us, engage with the university and our teams that we have here. And we're here and willing to support you in terms of that journey. And Tendi secure the coveted spot on global experience. We would have a lot more spots then available on some of our other programs like commerce as well. But
Yeah,
yes, so thanks.
sorry if you'd let me add, um, I know for some folks getting into college is a financial problem, right? And if you find that you or your family is in that situation, get in touch with the college. Get in touch with the college. There's so many schemes and so many initiatives that are available, to help you with that, with your journey. They want you to do well, and to get into, if you do come into the regular, through the regular avenues, and you start in with regular commerce, you can still bump up from regular commerce into global BCom. Um, during so last year, I think the average was about 66%. It sounds high, but I promise y'all, it is doable. There's things like sums, which help with anything mathematical. It's a free service. There's initiatives with the library which will help you with your essays, etc. So everything is there to get you where you need to be.
Yeah, and Tenny makes such a good point there around, those opportunities that can be here when you come into the university around transfer between programs. And we have a lot of students who will come onto our 3-year Bachelor of Commerce program every year who are very interested in completing the Global Experience program. And we could transfer maybe 80 students across every year based on your grades. But as Tendy mentioned, if there are any supports like that you may require, like maths, and of course we provide all of support in our lectures and tutorials. We have a lot of additional resources on campus. So Tendai, you're obviously abroad at the moment,
Yeah.
but keeping in touch with the university and having that relationship even when you're not physically here is really important as well. So can you talk to us maybe a small bit about how you've stayed engaged with the university despite not physically being here?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, life is a journey, as cheesy as that sounds. And you know like I said, I'm originally from Zimbabwe, and we have a saying, that if you want to get far, you know travel with others. And the university has been key in helping me with supports whilst being over here in the Channel Islands. So things with helping me with my transition over, introducing me to other people who would have been, very helpful with my move. Before I chose to come out here, I was thinking of Luxembourg as well, and um, I don't know. Sinead might remember, she mightn't. But the college was helpful enough to share her email address, with me. Um, Even though I'm doing, accounts, I have a passion for marketing, and I keep in regular contact with yourself and the marketing department, you know. So these are all just little, feathers in your wings to help you get to where you need to be. Whereas if you go off, and you try to fly solo, it's not to say that you won't make it. It's just to say that there's extra support that you might miss on because you didn't stay in touch with folks.
And that's something for, the university provides full support for students engaging in these opportunities like the global experience. So within our business school, we have dedicated study abroad officers, we've dedicated placement officers, we have a global experience team, the marketing team. There's huge opportunities for engagement, and we want to support you throughout that journey and to make it as enjoyable as an experience as possible. And Tendi, maybe if I was just ask you one last question around some of the skills you've been developing while you've been studying here as well, and kind of, we have the skills development program within the business school that we partner with PwC on, and that's obviously who you're completing your internship with as well at the moment. Could you talk to me a small bit about that experience of developing your professional skills while you've been studying with us so far?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. And that was also very fundamental in helping me get this internship. Um, I got to know people from PwC, PwC Ireland, who then helped to link me up with people here. And the great thing is, while I'm over here as well, PwC are paying for my accounting qualifications. So I'm already nearly a year into my ACCA. I'd have, me and my folks, we'd have never been able to afford to pay that ourselves. You know, I live in a PwC staff house. I know you can't see it because of the NUI virtual background, but yeah, it's been great. Anything that you want to get involved in that you do via the college know people. So tap into those resources. You know what I'm saying? Tap into those resources, ask questions. Somebody will know somebody who knows somebody, and um, just use it.
Yeah, I think that's such a fantastic point. And our business school has such tight relationships with industry,
Oh yeah,
with PwC, with companies like Deloitte,
yeah.
who partner with us on the Global Experience Program, providing travel bursaries for students, mentoring opportunities. And, like Sarah mentioned with SAP and the STAR scheme, internship opportunities. So I think that's such a fantastic point. There's so many fantastic relationships that the university has with, with community, with industry that are available for you as a student to tap into. And I think all of our students who are here today are fantastic examples of, you've all taken those opportunities that have been there. So Tendai, thank you very much for that. I'm probably going to be coming back to you in the next couple of minutes again.
That's fine.
So I'm going to ask Ailish now to join me, and just encourage all of the students who are joining us today as well. If you do have any specific questions you'd like me to put to our students today, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll pull everyone in now for a chat in the next couple of minutes as well. So hi Ailish, how are you doing today?
Hi, good now. How are you? Hi everyone.
So Ailish is a final year Bachelor of Commerce Accounting Global Experience student. So Ailish, do you want us to tell us maybe a small bit about your experience from, having studied accountancy for Leaving Cert, and, how that's supported you in terms of transition onto the BCom accounting with us here?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll just start by saying it doesn't even feel like that long ago that I was in, all your positions in sixth year trying to decide what I wanted to do. The last 4 years have honestly flown by. But yeah, when I was in sixth year, I studied business and accountancy. So I knew I wanted to go into the business route, but I wasn't 100% sure, if it was accounting that I wanted to do or not. But as I looked into the courses, I found the BCom accounting. So essentially, you're streaming in accounting. So your main focus would be accounting, but you still get the experience of studying all the other modules, for example, economics, marketing, BIS, statistics. So like as Sinead was saying, that's the beauty of commerce, that it's so broad that you can't touch into all the aspects. But yeah, so then as I said, that I'm streaming in business now, or in accountancy now. So one requirement for the course is that you need accountancy for the Leaving Cert to do it. So then I went into first year anyway, and there's about between 30 and 40 people who do BCom accounting. So you become quite close with your class in that way, because for your accounting modules, you would just be with your class. So like we all became really close. We had like class group chat, we'd organize class nights out, and we all became just really good friends in that way. But then when we were studying the likes of economics, marketing, we would be with global commerce and general commerce in the big lecture halls. So we kind of get a taste of both, which was brilliant. And then so mainly first year accounting would be quite similar to Leaving Cert accounting. So if you do like accounting in the Leaving Cert, then you'll be absolutely fine doing it. You'll be fine doing it in this course. As like Sinead said before as well, like general commerce, you're kind of starting with the basics. Whereas if you do accounting for the Leaving Cert, you already have the basics. So you kind of start off, you're kind of just one step ahead in the accounting stream than general commerce. So it's kind of just what you were doing in the Leaving Cert. You kind of do all that again, and as the years go on, you'll be kind of going into different sections of accounting. So you'd be going into audit, tax, management accounting, all about law and legislation and things like that as well. I have really enjoyed the course. I'm finished now, as Adrian said at the beginning. It was our last week there, so now I have exams coming up, so I'm sad to be finishing now.
It's incredible how fast the years go by. 4 years can sound like a long time, but at the end of the program, you're thinking, where the last 4 years go? And I think that you made a really important point there as well around small class sizes and being able to build those relationships with people, while also having the balance of your smaller class size with the BCom accounting, and then being in lectures with the wider cohorts as well, that you've opportunities to build relationships and networks more broadly. And I think that's something that it's fantastic as part of these more specialized programs like the BCom accounting and the BIS program, business information systems. And then, as Sinead mentioned as well, through initiatives like peer assisted learning, PAL leaders, we do try to support that transition and put you into those smaller groups that you have an opportunity to meet people. So there's lots of fantastic opportunities for building really strong networks, with your classmates who also go on to become leaders in industry when you finish. And then obviously, Ailish, one of the advantages of studying the BCom accounting is the exemptions that come with that as well, in terms of your professional career as an accountant. So do you want to talk to us a small bit about the exemptions that are available and that you'll be receiving now, having completed the program?
Yeah, perfect. So so after your degree, generally if you want to go on and become a fully qualified chartered accountant, you have to do 3 sets of exams. So you'd have your CAP 1s, CAP 2s, and final entry exams. So by doing commerce with accounting, you'll be fully exempt from the CAP 1s, as you'll receive these throughout your degree. So then afterwards, after your degree, you go on and do some more professional exams, either through a master's or a graduate program with the company. So I'll have my full CAP 1s now when I'm finished. And then next year I'm going on to do a graduate program with Deloitte, which is a global financial services firm. So I actually did my work placement with them last year during my international year, which was brilliant. And now they've kept me on, and I'll be doing my exams through them. And that's just one brilliant thing about this course as well. It has excellent job opportunities. Employers are always looking at this degree and looking for people to hire, and the employers in this industry are great as well. They'll sponsor masters, they'll sponsor exams, and you can do your exams while you're working for them as well. So there is brilliant job opportunities, I have to say.
Yeah, it's fantastic in terms of being able to finish your studies now and moving into your final weeks of exams, but knowing who your employer is going to be at the end of your program, and having had that opportunity to get experience in the area and build a relationship with Deloitte, and now to have a job waiting at the end it's kind of the aim of the game in a lot of respects. And Ailish, you also completed a global experience year as well. So do you want to talk to us a small bit about that experience?
Yeah, I will. So last year I did the international year. So first semester I went to Rome. So I studied in university there from September to December. And then second semester I did my work placement with Deloitte here in Galway. So that was January to May. So one thing about this course that you don't actually have to decide if you want to do international year or not straight away. So you have to decide in second year, you have to apply for it just before Christmas, I think it was. So, you know, I know like when I was in sixth year, I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to go on Erasmus or go study abroad, or if I just wanted to do with the 3-year course. So that's why the BCom accounting suited me as well, because I knew I got to decide later on. And anyway, when I was in second year, you know, I love college, I love the college experience. So I wanted to do the extra year, and I wanted to get the experience as well, just, you know, in a work placement, to see if I actually, you know, liked accounting, if I wanted to, you know, further my education after college through this stream. So it is a great opportunity to do it. And, you know, the Erasmus was brilliant as well. Like, it's so much fun. You meet so many people from like so many different countries. So I think when I went to Rome, there was about 300 Erasmus students as well. You know, and everybody was new and meeting each other for the first time. So it was brilliant. And like NUIG always keep in contact, and they have a close relationship to the university as well that you're studying in. You know, so it is just brilliant in that aspect as well.
Completely. I think having the opportunity to study abroad, it broadens your perspective in so many different ways. You know, you get to experience different style of education, as you said, meet people from all around the world. And it's just overall such an incredible experience. So Ailish, thank you so much for that. And I'll be pulling you back in again in the next couple of minutes. So I'm going to ask Kieran now to join me. Kieran, if you're there, so you're obviously in the final year of Bachelor of Commerce International with French. So you studied a language as part of your studies, which is a small bit different than some of the other students. Do you want to talk to us maybe a small bit about your experience of studying a language, and if you have any advice for students on the call who might be interested in studying languages?
Yeah, so same as everyone else, when I was in Cert, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. But I knew I kind of want to do something around business, because I was very interested in economics and all that kind of stuff. But when I remember doing the open day in NUIG, and I saw there was a Commerce with French program. And like, I wasn't the best French student in Cert by any means, but I remember seeing there was a year abroad, and I thought, you know, it's a wee bit different. I might as well go for it. And honestly, like, doing the Commerce with French has been the best decision for me, because, you know, it's just like the regular commerce degree, but, you know, it's just another string to your bow, I suppose. The classes are a lot smaller for the French, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far.
I think with languages at the moment, especially, you know, as we move into a more digitalized world, there's a lot of, you know, geographical barriers that are coming down, and the advantages of having languages is just becoming, you know, even bigger than it was before. And Kieran, do you want to tell us a small bit about that experience of, you know, studying in Toulouse for your Erasmus? Maybe what some of the subjects you studied while you were there, and studying true French while you were there.
Yeah, so yeah, I went to Erasmus in Toulouse in France, and, you know, as everyone else said, you know, it was the best year of my life, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I went over from end of August to March time when we had to leave because of COVID. But we were just there studying in the business school over there, through French, which initially I was quite apprehensive about, because, you know, I'm good enough at French, but I didn't back myself to, you know, to be taught all the way through French. And so we were studying wine marketing, which was it was fun enough at the time. You know, there was wine tastings every Friday morning.
Yeah.
which was a bit of a culture change, but we got used to it, you know, after a while. But yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah, the wine tasting was great, and just the whole teaching through French at the start was very difficult, but over the year I got a lot better at it. And, you know, the lads I went over with and the other Erasmus students we were there with, you know, we all kind of, you know, stuck together, and we all helped each other through it all. So it's not really anything to be worried about, especially, you know, if you're Cert right now and you think, oh, I'm not great at French, I'm not great at Spanish or German, you know, there's a lot of help for you, you know, through the years before you go on Erasmus. So I wouldn't be worried about it at all.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point, because, you know, the reason you're going abroad as well is to help improve your fluency skills. So you're not expected to be at expert level by any means when you're going on that study abroad experience. That's your opportunity to really, you know, use the skills that you've been developing over the past years, and to really develop them throughout the year. And then, Kieran, in final year, you're obviously, you know, your language is your specialism, but you do have this opportunity as well to study the other subjects of business as part of the program as well. So you're doing French, but you have also opportunities, to engage in those other areas of specialization. So could you tell us maybe about the areas that you're specializing in within the program at the moment?
Yeah, obviously, French, if you're doing a language, French is like your main specialization. And I think everyone else's was accounting, but for final year, I focused really on the marketing and the economics modules, which are the ones I enjoyed the most kind of throughout my time in college. And it's an area I kind of want to get into after college, especially the fact, I've quite broad, in final year, it's quite broad subjects between French, economics and marketing. Hopefully, I'll find something to do in one of those areas.
Completely. So thanks very much for that, Kieran. And what I might do now is I might just bring in everyone for a couple of quick questions, about just again about your experiences of studying with us. And Kieran, while I have you there, I know you've been involved with sports in the university as well. And as we mentioned, this kind of social experience that you have while you're here is really important as well in terms of your development. But could you tell us a small bit about your experience of sports in the university?
Yeah. When I came in first year, I've played a lot of football, since I was young. And when I was starting college, my first thing I wanted to do was get into play for the Gaelic team. And I remember back in first year, me and my housemates all went up. We're all kind of nervous, but we all went up to the football trials, and it was probably the best thing we did outside of college, because we met so many other lads from the other courses that we wouldn't really have met otherwise. And that was kind of just another kind of social group we had, as well as the ones we had in class. But even, I knew a lot of people that played sports in college that wouldn't really be into sport that much. So even if you don't want to play sport casually or play sport competitively, there's every sport's here for you in the college, whether it be Gaelic, soccer, hurling, frisbee, it's all there for you. You'll find your crowd somewhere.
And, we have within the university over 116 societies, over 45 sports clubs. So there really is something for everyone. And I might even just open up on that point there to see if anyone wants to come in. Guys, if you've been involved with a club or a society while you've been here, Sinead, I know earlier you mentioned some of the societies you've been involved with as well, if you wanted to share some of those experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously when you come in first year, it's really daunting. You don't necessarily have the kind of comfort of your home friend group that you've had for years. So it's a little bit of a shock at the start, but then NUIG have this thing at the very, very start of the year, and is it during orientation week or freshers week? I'm not sure. Really, really early on in college. And they basically open up the Kingfisher, which is our gym. And every single society, club, sports team has a little stand, and you can walk around, literally look at every single sport they have. I remember being there in first year, seeing these lads fencing in the middle of the hall and being like, what is going on here? They've judo, they've absolutely everything. You can see a list. I'm pretty sure it's probably up on the NUIG website. And then you can go and you can literally put down your student number, and they'll send you an email and be like, look, we have training, or we have a meeting, or we're having a social event. Do you want to come? And you can decide then if you want to come and show up. So when I was in first year, I did rowing with the college, which it's intense. Like if you have done rowing before, you'd know they kind of split you between novice and elite. So like elite is if you have done it before and you want to perform, but you can do novice if you just want to do it for the crack, really. And then I got involved in the Cancer Society. So I was just going to the Cancer Society events in first year, second year, and this year I was on the committee. So explaining a committee is like there's kind of the head group in a society where they organize your events. They kind of run the society. So you can decide if you want to take on a little bit more responsibility and become more involved. You can decide to become part of the committee. And something I would really, really recommend, even just going to one of these events and seeing, okay, wait, there actually is a committee, or there's a society for everything. You'll find your group of people really, really easily.
And I think from an employment perspective as well, that engagement is something that's so important, because employers want to take on graduates, who can demonstrate, they can operate well as part of teams in social situations, and kind of the energy and the enthusiasm that they can bring. And having those experiences with clubs and societies You know, it gives you those stories that you can talk about when you're in an interview as well. I don't know if anyone else wants to come in on that point as well around societies that or clubs that they might have been involved in. Tendai, I think you might come in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, I'd like to say when you get into first year, your results matter. You know, that's something that, people think first year there's no, capping on repeats, etc., etc. But trust me, just have fun, enjoy yourself, but keep that in mind, especially for business if you'd like to then, travel, get, a good internship. Um, Clubs wise as well, um, yeah, it's just there's so much out there. I got involved with Enactus, and the reason why I got involved with Enactus is, I'd like to do stuff where I can be in touch with helping folks out out here. When I say out here, I meant like when I was back in Ireland, but also um, things where I can help folks back in Africa. So Enactus was a perfect, bridge, for that. But yeah, if you want to get into sports, if you're into movies, if you're into computers, eh, it's there, like Sinead said, it's there.
And you know, there are so many societies like that for business students as well. You know, there's business society, there's finance society, and then like Enactus, you know, kind of around social enterprise, you know,
Yeah.
as you mentioned there, Tendai. So, you know, there's societies outside of what you're looking at within your course, and then there's societies related to what you're doing as well, which is fantastic. Guys, we've spoken about a lot there, and unfortunately, as they say, time flies when you're having fun. So I'm going to have to draw the session to a close in the next couple of minutes. If there was one last piece of advice or insight that you could give to students on the call today, you know, who are making a decision around coming to NUI Galway, what would you say to them? And I might ask this question to everyone. So Sinead, do you want to go first? You know, what advice would you give to a student now who's considering NUI Galway?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, my little sister is doing leaving cert at the minute, and the biggest piece of advice I'd have for anyone on the call right now is don't look at points. Like if you see a course and you really, really want to do this course, put it down number one. Like I know obviously there's commerce global experience, it's high enough points, like it's difficult to get, but don't think, oh, I'm not going to get it, so don't put it down. Put it as your number one. You never know. Like that's the one biggest piece of advice I'd have.
Fantastic. And Sarah, what would you say to a student maybe interested in studying BIS at NUI Galway?
Yeah, like if you have any interest in technology, I'd say go for it. Like I forgot to mention as well that there is a chance to go abroad in BIS, so that, you know, makes it even better. I know, just you try it. If there's so much variety in it, and when you go higher in the years, you can choose what modules you want to do. So like I don't know, everyone can do BIS. You know, it's such a great course.
It might get competitive here now with everyone trying to sell it.
But everyone in BIS, you know, there's not one person I know that doesn't like it. Like everyone really tries to push people to do it because it's such a great course and you get such a variety of knowledge from each module. And, you know, the job opportunities are great as well because, you know, the world is progressing so much into technology. So, you know, yeah.
Ailish, any last words for students interested in accounting?
Yeah, so I'd say if you know you're definitely interested in accounting in the Leaving Cert, this would be the course for you. If you're not 100% sure, maybe a general BCom commerce might be more so for you, so you'll get a taste of everything, and then you can decide in second and third year. And just something else as well, you know, if you do come to NUIG, just get involved in the orientation week. You know, go to the talks, go to the tours, you'll meet so many people. I remember we went to the college bar for a few hours, and that's literally where I met so many people in my class. You know, so you do meet so many people in your first week, so just keep that in mind and don't be nervous, just put yourself out there and you'll be fine.
Yeah, fantastic. And Tendai, any last words from you?
Yeah, I'd say just go for it. And I know that sounds really cliche, but remember, you know, you were learning from basics. Do you know? And if I had known that, I would have probably had the courage to try, a language or something like that. my accounts sucked. I never did it in high school, but here I am at a big four firm. So you will start learning everything at grassroots level. Don't be like, man, I've never done anything with computers, etc., so I'm not going to do BIS. No, go for it. And I'd say excel, 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 excel. If you are at home, just start watching YouTube videos on Excel. It will help you. You will thank me. Excel.
Thanks so much, Tendai. And Kieran, finally to you for any last words.
Yeah, well, my own sisters and leaving here, but like coming to NUIG was definitely the best decision I've ever made. The past 4 years have been great. Yeah, and if you want to pick a language to go with, push doors for you in college and after college. Yeah.
Brilliant. So guys, again, thank you so much. I'm going to bring it to a close there. That was a fantastic session. We've spoken so much about, the quality of the education that we have here, the opportunities for study abroad, for work placement, for industry collaboration, clubs, societies, the opportunity to build friendships and have very rich, culturally diverse experiences. So it really is, an incredible opportunity, I think, for students to study at NUI Galway. And there are so many opportunities there that you can pursue as students. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I want again to thank my panel, some of who are studying for exams now over the next few weeks and are busy on internships, for giving your time today and sharing those fantastic insights. So we hope we've inspired you today to join us at NUI Galway. We have a few more sessions running today around languages, around entrepreneurship, around business information systems. So we encourage you to engage with the sessions that might be of interest to you as well. So thanks very much, everyone, and we hope to see you soon and joining us in September or over the next couple of years. Thank you.